Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second lesson in the quest to find the spirit inside. My name is Diann Henry. This is my brother, Steve Henry. And today we're looking into how to free your spirit from the worldly bonds. Take a listen again and tell us what you think. Steve, go.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
You doing all right today?
I am doing fine. How about you?
I'm great. But let's try to move a little further down the road on this subject. You have to pull up that first graph again because we got to explain it.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to assume it's there. Oh, here it comes.
There it is.
Okay, now here we go again, folks. How y'all doing? But I'm going to describe to you what's on the inside of you. You see this top graph? That's the grid of the gospel truth of Christ. That's the 144,000 character doctrines. Around on the back side, they're all the way around. This is the gate round on this side. Around on the back side is the indigenous people, the Old Testaments of the Bible, beginning of time. And as it come around both sides, that's the different generation. They come all the way around to this one little point in the center of the garden. This is the tree of life. Everything is inside of this. Inside of each of those 144,000 windows, it expands out into forever, just like the numbers. Let's say, for instance, one of those windows has got the number character in it. Inside of that, it's got the counting of the numbers, their addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, fractions. It's got 12 steps. And another is the reading and writing doctrine. And that has got the alphabet, vowels, nouns, the 12 steps. Those are the 12 arrows in your quiver that the Bible talks about. But when you do those 12 steps in each one of those boxes, you adopt that character. Any number come out after you go through it, you could walk through the world and point them all out. But the ones who stop at addition, that's where they acknowledge that when they stop, they can't overcome the number doctrine. Anything you don't pass through, you can't see. You got to see the 2 plus 2 equal 4 inside of you before you can recognize it on the outside of you. You got to see the color blue on the inside before you can see it. Your life is supposed to be lived on the inside of your grid, looking out into the world. So from inside of your heart, you can see where to add the good thing into your grid. From inside out. And all that see it, they can receive it through this same graph, the gospel truth of Jesus Christ. The spirit of truth is those spiritual doctrines. That's where you find addition, subtraction, and multiplication. They're all spiritual doctrines. When you do division, no one can show you anything about it. But when you don't, they got to show you everything about it, and you can't see it. Remember, there's 144,000 of these characters. And the Bible tells you it's 144,000 of them. And that circle in the middle is the Spirit of Christ, which from there, you adopt that spirit. You receive them all. And inside of each one of those 144,000, it goes on forever. Because any two things that fit together at any point, like man and woman make a child, it's a totally different spirit. It's not the man, it's not the woman. And as the child mate with others, it makes totally different more. We expand in knowledge, we expand in everything because the lights are turned on before us. The first people didn't have the flint rock fire. But the same flint rock fire is here, but it's on the back side of the ground. But we walk in the front room now and say, Siri, turn on the blue light, then the yellow light. Because it had advanced from there, but the others are still there. Because the Amish still live that way of life. They can't change. all of the characters of creation is still on the planet. The indigenous people can't change. The Bible described them. It's like the first grade, second grade, we build up. It started from the beginning, and we all coming together here at the end. The planet has been populated. The people are bringing the gifts. No one is to live on the planet. No one is to own anything on the planet. We are all passing through. If you grab a hold of possessions here, you won't have no fruit you can bring from the inside. And every tree that brings out forth good fruit, there's no one inside of there but you. There's not another person, nowhere, place, thing can ever enter inside your skin. There ain't nothing from outside of a man that can enter into him and do nothing. It only can go in through the mouth, and it's going to come out. If you put it in the blood, it's going to filter out. They have to take you out with it. It can't enter your heart. Nothing can. But if you find your way in that heart of your own, in your dream land, you'll live forever. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to guess. It's inside of you right now. When people like Steve Jobs and them or Michael Jackson and them go away for a while, the people call them crazy. Then they come back and they've been gone for years, and every time you pick up that phone, you're using Steve Jobs' spirit. And anytime any of us hear a beat of Michael Jackson music, one note, or hear his voice out of all the billions of voices, we know exactly where it is because he lit up his window inside of our heart. We all got a part to light up. If you don't know it, it's on you. There's no one inside of you but you. If you didn't go out and seek the alphabet, the vowels and nouns, you couldn't be here. If you didn't go out and seek the numbers, addition, subtraction, you can't see it. There's no one in there but you. You see black and white until someone leads you to the word of God from inside of you. That's the color blue. Once you see it, it's there forever. Just like number 899,007. We never practice it, but every one of us who receive that doctrine from that graph, we know exactly which one it is, and no one can change it. But the people who have not, how can they see it? Oh, don't let me take up all the space. Let me give your ears a break. Did you have any questions?
Just wanted to, because I asked you this last time, and I wasn't sure if the answer Dan agreed or not. But I am going to ask you again. So I understood you to say that each one of these little marks indicates like the different doctrines, like the doctrine of reading, or the doctrine of
the character. Okay, that'll be a character. And the character break down in the 12, which is the spiritual doctrine. But it repeats itself forever. Anytime anything goes together, they only fit together if they fit together on the inside. You cannot make the numbers in the alphabet fit together. But you can use them with this is going to represent that. You can always tie it, but it's not going to be found inside of the gospel truth of Christ. That's how you know the truth. You know the truth from those things inside. If you don't know how to do subtraction, how are you going to argue with someone who do? Won't that be kind of? But though anytime two people are in disagreement, you know they both think they're right?
Yeah.
Because it looked right to them. That's why I need to explain this. There's nothing to go outside of yourself to look for. It's inside of your heart. Anyone who can't show you something inside of you, they're the devil. Because the world is outside of your skin. You be inside with the truth, looking out. You don't find the truth outside because nobody told you that. We all see things different. That's why there's so many different things. All our characters are different. So if you learn to be like someone else, somebody missing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And who do you think will be missing?
You.
Okay. But if you do your thing, whose character do you light up? Who knows? Oh, like now, you on this thing. Where it's gonna go? It's going into the cloud. And who's going to move it? Everybody on the planet got to know this. If they don't, well, the people who bring things, they can easily see it, but I have to take it to the other side in order for me to bring something to the planet right now. It's got to be on the other side of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and them. You too. But you can start from the beginning. It would be a lie if I go way back in beginning of time and start from the beginning. You can't live no lie on the inside. You can't get in there. Do you think you can change one of those numbers inside? No. You can't change one outside, but you can trick somebody and see if they believe it hard enough, and you change when you die and get the next life. But when you die, you dead. You got to go. You got to do your thing. Think about it. All this technology is sent for you to use. But if you run on the back side of this graph with the caveman on your knees praying, I don't care who said it. It don't make no sense. The year started out at 1 at some point. It's down here now. The timeline, it started out then, the clock tick 24 hours a day, every day. It's going forward. It ain't never going to stop. It ain't never going to repeat. It's going to go on to the next step, even to the next era. You can only live in one era at a time. That's the era that your spirit come into the world. You can't use a damn thing that was on this planet when you come to call it yours. Because see, it started on the backside, and the newer things coming out. You could not use the cell phone back in the 70s. How? It was inside, but it hadn't been come out yet. The caveman couldn't use the Siri to turn the light on. Just like the numbers, everything is inside. It's your dreams. If you don't live your own dreams, you can't receive nobody else's dreams. And the characters, you have to receive them on the inside of you. You can't receive what's not for you. When you're young and you sleep at night, you see all the things you're supposed to do. But when you go out to do what someone else wants you to do, your window closed because you become unfruitful. You can't bring your own gift. All the gifts are in the children. The future's in the children. You're teaching them the past. Surely that makes sense to you. But the math don't lie. You can't go backwards on the journey. According to the spirit of truth down there in those spiritual doctrine. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Go backwards. It's just like your birthday. Well, I got a graph. This goes my little here explain that good. Every day it's ticking upwards until if you don't plant your seed before they plant you in the ground, you're gonna fade. Your window can't be open. Ain't nobody inside of you but who? No one can get inside of you. But the devil's outside. They call you outside. For whatever reason. But that's in the world. Everything outside of your skin is in the world. Because it has to match. You can't recognize what it is on the outside until you know the truth about it on the inside. Can you? Can you recognize the English language without learning to speak it on the inside first? And that'd be the Greek. You can just start out not speaking Russian, right? But you can't see it. You got to see it inside. Anything you see inside, you know it outside. And if you see it outside and you don't know it inside, the truth is, you don't know it. That's what you believe. Believing means, I'll put a check mark on that. It means you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Remember the little thing about the test in the school, when you take the test in the school, you miss some of the questions. And when you get the paperback, you see all the ones that you knew. They check good and you smile. But then you look over there and see all the ones that's got the X by it. You said to yourself, I believe that's it right there. And you bubble it in. And it's got the X by it. So what good was believing?
None.
So, but there are people fighting all day, killing each other for what they believe that someone taught them to be believed. You ain't thinking. You come here to shine your own light, to teach what you see from the windows inside of your soul. The Spirit of Christ is in that center circle of all those doctrines. And inside there, if you miss your gift, He harbors your soul. The only way you can be reconnected with your soul, you got to go back inside there. It's inside of you. I'm just showing you how it look inside of me. It don't change. How can it change? It's just like the number doctrine. You got the counting. You see every one of them. They're inside of you. If you can't see them inside of you, how you gonna see them outside? And we share them in that same spiritual doctrine. That's the word of Christ, that ground. In other words, we're not together now. I'm talking in a totally different location. It's all over there. You're receiving it. Everyone who read and write in this doctrine or either speak this language, they're receiving these things I'm saying exactly the same. They don't already know them. You can't know it and be into someone else's stuff. Bill Gates can't be into nobody else's stuff because he don't see it. He see the things from inside of him. Anyone who brings stuff, they can't be in the same arena with people who don't. Because they don't fit. They'll be crazy. The people who write the songs in the books of creation bring the new words to the world. The words of God are inside of you, just where the numbers of God, these graphs of God, all of these things are inside of you. No one can teach them to you. They got to show them to you. You have to practice them, just like the alphabet. Once you practice them, you don't need them at one time in your life. But you ain't going to get them until you do what? Sing the little song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, until you can sing it by yourself and you don't never have to do it again. But someone had to show it to you first, right? And then then they say, hey, get 6 of the letters. By you receiving the alphabet from that Spirit of truth down there, the 6 of the letters you're going to know because you know it. A-E-I-O-U, after you receive it, there's no problem. But you can't find that first, can you? And then when the alphabet meet with the vowels, either one of them going to exist in the next step. They form something different. I say that part because when you go to the text of anyone writing, two people write the same thing, and they ain't gonna be meaning you can't use it that way. Because anytime somebody writes something, whoever they are, or anything in a different graph, it's got to be used like words in the dictionary to tell what you see, because we all see things different. You have to use that word to tell what you see. You can't see what nobody else sees. We all have a different perspective. We come out of different windows, and inside, none of us come out the same grid, other one. If we both come out of the let's say the English language doctrine, we use different words because our perspective, where we're looking from, is totally different. But it's that way for a reason. All of us together, we see the whole world. The old ones, the new ones. But we got to be in the same spirit. It told you when you see things chaotic, someone was going to show you something. And the children was going to have to bring you to the other side. Because like most people, they've been going round and around the circle at the same job where you're supposed to be working in your character so you can go through it. Meaning, in my lifetime, I've seen several people who went to work at fast food joints. They swept the parking lot at the beginning. next week, they behind the cash register. Next week, they cooking. You come back up 1 or 2 later, they the manager of the store, and then they manage 10 stores, and then they got a district manager, and then they just go off and start Wendy's or something. You know what I'm saying? That's mean they in their character. People go in the IGA or whatever, and then you finish and go start public. Because you have to go through it. You just ain't gonna wake up, I think I'll start a grocery store. No, it's your character. The people who go to construction jobs and go all the way through it and perform and all that stuff, they can sit home and get thousands of people and put them to work. Because they can see it. If you see it inside, you can navigate it. But if you got to depend on someone else to see it for you, how you gonna see it? You can't see nothing inside of me, can you? You can't see nothing inside of your daughter. You only can see from inside of you or out in the world. Everybody else the same. Now, someone can lead you to something inside of you, but we ain't got that time here now. I'm going to show you what it is. Now, there's only so many I can put here and illustrate but there's gazillions of them. It's 144,000, but it's the whole around the world. Every single one of them. That's how you know the tribes when you see them. They got a character too. They can't change. How the hell you gonna change the indigenous people? Can't nothing change. The world come here spitting out things just like the news. It ain't never going back. You ain't gonna go back and do nothing but be messed up for looking back. You got to look within. It's in there. But you ain't gonna find it after your window closed. You got to come follow this path. Is this the one I explained why you can't find it when the window closed? I didn't hear you.
Well, I hope you're not asking me because I'm a learner myself. So if that's where you want to go, go.
Okay, well, see, you can't find it because if God puts you to bring everything's the next generation or something, you have to bring it from the dreams. If you supposed to brought the touch tone phone back in the 70s when we had the robo dial, but you didn't bring it because you went out and wanted to be a rock star, and made you a band instead. You know, in the 12s and up, the boys get together and they go to the bands, and then the ones who was for, they come out being the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or something, you know, like when I come along. But anyway, if you went out following other people and didn't bring the touch tone phone, the next generation in your character has got to bring it. Well, they had to bring it because it came. And when you bring it, when you come to your senses, and it's just 100 years later, you've got to bring a phone, well, that's your window. You know, your dreams had phone in it, and you didn't bring the one for you. You got to bring you can't bring none of these now. You got to bring the next generation out. All of these things are inside of you. Everything that you see, it's inside of you. That's how you know it. It's just confirmed when you see it, inside and outside. Just like the numbers, they stacked up forever, one on top of the other. And every single one of us know which numbers come next. It's the same thing with the automobiles. From the Flint Rock Fire. It went to the torch, the lantern. All those things are still there. The people on the back side of this grid here, this tree of life, they still use the Flint Rock Fire. How they gonna change? The caveman got to always be in the cave till he get knowledge of this. But the people in the 12th grade here, the last generation, they have to go into the college first. And the first generation on the backside, they will come up last because when the 12th go in, the 11th come in the 12th place. You feel me? Everyone just come up one step at a time. That's what the Bible keeps talking about, the first being last and the last first. And I know that I have family members that just, they died on that Bible thing. The Bible is true. But it was for them. They wrote their story. All the spirits is inside of you. We all are God's. We all are Christ. You adopt the spirit inside of you. There's no one in there but you. You got the numbers in spirit. Whose are they? You don't get credit for bringing them to the planet, but the only one can use it is who?
Me.
And if you didn't have them in there, what happened?
Couldn't use them.
Okay, if you didn't have this English language in there from this same spot, there are many spots. But they got to come from this spot on this grid, that alphabet vowel noun, so we all can see the same thing. The beauty of that is I can talk about the image of the dinosaurs. We're at the same place. I can talk about being on Mars. We're at the same place. I can say World Trade Center, we all see the same thing. I can say Michael Jackson, we all together. Because it's only us who know of these on the inside of us, but the ones who don't, what they see. I can say something hot, we're all at the same place. Because we're doing it in this spiritual doctrine of Christ. That's called the gospel truth. But the spirit of truth, like I said, is down there. But I want to make sure that we get this thing understood. This is the setup of the tree of life. It's got the 144,000 characters. The center of that tree is that circle in there. That's the thing you have to adopt by just thinking about it. Thinking about it. It's all there. You can't argue with the truth. I just demonstrated that we go from window to window. You can go, and before you can think of it. But what happens if I go to the numbers and you're still in the alphabet? Are we still together? So that's telling you anytime, let's say anytime you hold on to something, can you go anywhere? None of them can move. You can, all of them yours. But when you grab a hold of any of it, anywhere, where else can you go?
Nowhere.
Okay, now, if you go outside of yourself, worshiping anything outside of you, it's got to be idolized because you can't receive it. Anything outside of you. If you go out looking for it, can you come inside and see this?
No.
Because one is inside and the other outside. The two ways can't ever mix. But the way you establish yourself in this creation, can you do it outside? Anything you do on the outside of you is a man-made property. Can it merge with anything else? Only these things in the doctrine can fit together. You can't make the syllables in the alphabet fit together. You know that, right? It has to go with the vowels. And they create the syllables. They can't mix with nothing else. Can't nothing mix. The number 39 can't mix with nothing. Anything else come by, if a zero come by on the end, 39 ain't changing, it's 390. You feel me? 39 is always going to be the 39th slot on that graph. And we all know it. It's inside of us. Can't nobody change it, right? You don't remember Michael Jackson's face through all his changes. Every one of us see it without a doubt. And you know, we're going to know without a doubt what it's him about, right?
All right, well, we got about 2 more minutes to wrap it up. So, what are any of your final thoughts for today?
I can't have final thoughts because I live in the only time, which is right now. You can't do nothing 5 seconds ago. You can't do nothing 5 seconds from now. The only time that anyone can do anything in creation is right now. Because when you do it right now, it's recorded. The life is going along like a big tape recorder from the day one until it changed into era. At the end of each era. And then it continues from there. It don't go back. And right now we're at the end of the era. The house is full. All the 144,000 characters has all been developed. Because, well, I can't put the cart before the horse because I do a lot of things with a lot of people. You know, I write that thing. And one of my family members' characters. And it's real good, but it's only for that character. It's good. We'll get around to it. They'll be able to show you once this go public. Now, remember, this ain't no public crime thing. It's only for the ones that got ears to hear. You know, so I have to go, don't send me your buddies because I won't do that. We all different. Now, I ain't out there. I don't want nothing to do with out there. I see what's happening. I see what's got everybody, fucked up. I you know, I don't owe nobody nothing, but I know if you only knew. See, when I was a kid, a lot of the older people, they was transitioning from dipping tar and stuff and picking cotton and stuff to pulling tomato plants and working kind of like on the farm. And none of them could count. They would go in the store to get something. They just put all their money on the counter and take what you want. And some of them older people, pretty good bit of them, I could show them how to count when I was little, because I always been counting all my life. And it meant so much to some of them older women because they couldn't make no money because they couldn't count the 52 tomato plants. So I showed them a little trick to it. And I was their best buddy forever. And that always, them kind of things that, I ain't never fitted in out there because I know from inside, the joy people get when you show them something. At first, they think it's crazy. And then you have to show them it's crazy because you don't know it. And if you go around doing what you know, where are you going? Where can you possibly go doing what you know, seeing what you see?
Well, thank you so much for your insight today. We are going to go ahead and wrap it up. I thank you all. We thank you for your time and attention. Again, we hope that you have found some value in this lesson today. And we'll be looking forward to speaking to you again soon.
Can I say one other thing? Can I say one other little thing?
Very quickly, please. We're on time. We're out of time, actually, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I'll forget it. I'll say it next time. Peace.
Well, we are to stop now. You might as well say it.
I can't. It kind of slipped away. I live for the night. I don't store. We can't store nothing till tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. Well, thank you a lot. And
we won't be as long the next time, right?